Ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, have captured the headlines for recent insights into the negative impacts their consumption has on both your health and the wider world. But what does ultra-processed food mean? What exactly are they? And what can you do to avoid them? This is Decomplicated. What does ultra-processed food mean?
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Manwich Show. Today's episode, processed foods versus unprocessed foods. But before we get started, let me play my disclaimer.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The show is found on
Manwich, the regular original
can, but do not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. Good evening or morning, depending on your time zone. From the Pacific to the Atlantic to you worldwide. Get yourself a cup of Java and find a comfy, easy chair, and get ready for Manwich on Talk Radio After Dark. And now,
and that's all I have to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that as well. Having said that, let's get into it.
Have captured the headlines for recent insights into the negative impacts their consumption has on both your health and the wider world. But what does ultra-processed food mean? What exactly are they? And what can you do to avoid them? This is Decomplicated. What does ultra-processed food mean? Ultra-processed foods are a common sight on today's shelves, defining any food products made with industrial ingredients and additives that aren't normally found in your kitchen.
Bro, they're
often high in calories, fat, sugar, and salt, whilst being low in nutrients and fiber. Designed to be convenient, cheap, and appealing, new research into UPFs is bringing to light just how harmful they can be to your health. Some of the negative consequences they pose to your health include increasing your risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, diet deficiencies, high blood pressure, cancers, and other chronic conditions. The usual definition of UPFs is based upon the NOVA classification system that categorizes food and drink into 4 categories: unprocessed or minimally processed foods, processed ingredients, processed foods, and ultra-processed foods.
Man, that's everything.
Examples of UPFs include confectionaries, fried snacks, processed meats, and cakes and biscuits. Notably, meat and plant alternatives are also, on average, not as healthy as one would think. Even sauces, dressings, dips, and spreads fall under the banner of ultra-processed foods, containing thickeners and artificial flavors that lead them to be extremely high in salt and fat.
Dude, what are we supposed to eat then?
Are all processed foods bad for you? No, not all processed foods are bad for you. Some processed foods are necessary or beneficial to your health, such as pasteurized milk, wholemeal bread, and low-fat yogurt. These foods undergo minimal processing to make them safe, suitable, or nutritious. But some, like sausages, have been linked to an increased risk of cancer. Many countries have already created new dietary guidelines that advise against consuming ultra-processed foods. Studies of UPFs have been observational, meaning that they can't definitely conclude cause and effect, but research highlights that consumption of these foods offers no beneficial outcomes, and instead create varying incidences of adverse health outcomes.
Man, what are we supposed to eat
What
then?
are the impacts of ultra-processed foods? Ultra-processed food also has a significant impact on society, especially on the environment and the economy. A large study following more than 100,000 French adults over 5 years showed that eating more ultra-processed foods was linked with a greater risk of heart disease. A similar analysis of the same participants found that a 10% increase in ultra-processed food consumption was linked with a significant increased risk of cancer as well. Treating these issues weighs heavily on public health bodies, such as the NHS. They're also detrimental to the environment. For example, One study found that ultra-processed foods are responsible for up to 1/3 of total diet-related greenhouse gas emissions, land use, and food waste. What can you do? To reduce the impact of ultra-processed food on society, we need to take collective action at different levels. We can choose to eat less ultra-processed foods and more fresh, whole, or minimally processed foods, such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, beans, eggs, fish, and unprocessed meat. We can also cook our own meals from scratch, using natural ingredients and spices. On a community level, we can support local and organic farmers, producers, and retailers who offer healthy and sustainable food options. Finally, advocate for policies and regulations that limit the production, distribution, and marketing of ultra-processed foods, promoting the availability and affordability of healthy and nutritious foods. With their widespread availability and convenience, ultra-processed foods will be part of our diets. It's about trying to find the balance of making consumption occasional rather than consistent.
Wondering, what's really in that convenient prepackaged meal I'm about to eat?
Not really.
The answer might surprise or even shock you. Our journey begins with the tantalizingly quick and easy world of processed foods. These culinary shortcuts come in many forms, from sliced bread and canned soups to the more obvious culprits like chips and candy. While they might save time in our fast-paced lives, the trade-off can be quite sinister. Diving into the world of scientific studies and hard facts, we find that these convenient meals often come with a hidden cost. Research from the National Institutes of Health reveals that processed foods are often high in sugar, salt, and fat. These ingredients, while making foods taste better, have been linked to obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and a host of other health issues. And it doesn't stop there. Processed foods are often stripped of nutrients during their creation, leaving you with empty calories. They're also laden with preservatives and additives, which help extend shelf life but can wreak havoc on your body. Studies have linked these additives to several health issues, including allergies and certain types of cancers. Now, let's turn our attention to another common culprit: microwavable foods. These quick-fix meals might seem like a godsend on a busy day, but lurking beneath their convenient exterior is a multitude of problems. According to the Harvard Medical School, microwaving food in plastic containers can lead to harmful chemicals leaching into your food.
That is true.
These chemicals have been linked to various health problems, including hormonal disruption and increased risk of certain cancers. Moreover, microwavable foods, like their processed counterparts, are typically high in unhealthy fats, sodium, and sugars. This trifecta of unhealthy ingredients can lead to a host of health issues, from heart disease to diabetes. In summary, it's crucial to understand the potential dangers of processed and microwavable foods. They might offer convenience and a quick hunger fix, but they often come at a serious cost to our health. Processed foods are high in sugar, salt, and fat, and are often devoid of essential nutrients. They're packed with preservatives and additives that have been linked to several health problems. Microwavable foods, too, carry their own set of risks, from chemical leaching due to microwaving in plastic to a high content of unhealthy ingredients. These convenient meals can cause significant harm to your health. So, the next time you reach for that easy, ready-to-eat meal, pause for a moment. Consider the potential consequences. Remember, your health is worth more than mere convenience. Choose wisely, choose health. It's never too late to start making better choices for your well-being.
Of natural foods, including vegetables, herbs, fruits, berries, grains, seeds, and nuts. Unfortunately, the diet of the majority of people in the Western world consists predominantly of processed foods. Typical problems with various processed foods are: they are infused with harmful preservatives in order to promote shelf life. When a food's shelf life is artificially prolonged, it does not only resist bacteria but also being digested properly. They tend to be laden with unhealthy sugars, sweeteners and salts, designed to appeal to our taste buds, but which are detrimental to our body. Many processed foods contain artificial vitamins and inorganic minerals intended to convince consumers that the food products are enriched in nutritional value.
Dang.
In reality, these synthetic vitamins and metallic minerals cannot be assimilated into the bloodstream,
So what
and
happens
only
to 'em?
tend to clog the digestive tract and damage the kidneys and blood vessels. Meat and meat products are usually derived from animals that have been fed large quantities of antibiotics, growth hormones and other toxic additives, all designed to maximize production on factory farms. The residuals of such additives find their way into the tissue of the animals and are passed on to consumers. In addition, many meat products are
There goes
contaminated
the
with
jab.
illness-producing bacteria, such as Salmonella or E. coli. Some food products are irradiated in order to kill bacteria and promote shelf life, resulting in food that is lifeless and lacking in nutritional value. Most processed foods contain artificial
Man, get
coloring
your
and flavoring
hands out
designed
the
to
butt of
appeal to
those
the aesthetics
chickens.
and taste buds of the consumer, but which are toxic to the body in many cases. Processed foods are frequently prepared by cooking them in oil that contains significant quantities of polyunsaturated fats, resulting in food that damages or destroys cell membranes throughout the body. Numerous types of processed foods,
Dude,
such
no
as
more
the
fried
traditional
chicken.
TV dinners, are prepared and packaged in such a way as to be conveniently heated in a microwave oven prior to eating. Microwave cooking destroys enzymes and other important nutrients, leaving essentially dead food that has very little nutritional value. A diet that relies heavily on processed foods is sometimes referred to as the Standard American Diet, or SAD. The acronym says it all. On the other hand, natural foods, if they are grown and prepared properly, and eaten when they are fresh, tend to provide the nutrients and life forces that are needed for a healthy body. Modern commercial agricultural practices, unfortunately, tend to work against the production of healthy, natural foods. There has been an over-reliance on the use of chemical fertilizers that are used to increase food production. With repeated growing cycles year after year, the soil tends to be leached of its natural minerals and other life-supporting nutrients. Such agricultural practices tend to diminish the life force and nutritional value of the fruits and vegetables. Nature has its own way of dealing with the death of plants and animals, keeping our planet tidy. When the life force diminishes, various types of microbes, fungi, insects and other scavengers are naturally attracted to the dying plant or animal as a source of food. The residuals of this process then become fertilizer for the next generation. The concept of composting is based on this principle. When plants are grown in leached and lifeless soil, their natural life force is diminished. Consequently, they tend to attract microbes, fungi, insects and other scavengers as part of the natural scheme of life and death. To protect the plants from such an invasion, chemical insecticides and fungicides are applied to them. Chemicals that are used in such fertilization and protective practices tend to find their way into the fibers of the resulting vegetables, fruits and other agricultural products. Virtually all such chemicals are toxic to the human body, some more than others. The emergence of organic farming is an effort to move back to more natural agricultural methods that do not rely on chemicals. Originally, natural food stores were the most common source of organic food products. Now that consumer awareness has heightened, organic fruits and vegetables are being sold in specialty sections of produce department in most mainstream supermarkets. Since the marketing of organic produce is still in its relative infancy, uniform standards for specifying the conditions under which produce can legally be labeled as organic are not yet well established. So one cannot yet be absolutely certain when purchasing produce that is labeled organic, that it is, indeed, totally chemical-free. On the other hand, one can be relatively certain that produce that is not labeled organic probably has been subjected to at least some degree of chemical contamination. The best possible solution to this situation is to have an organic garden of your own. In addition to being certain that the produce is raised in a chemical-free environment, there are other advantages. For example, fruits and vegetables can be eaten at their exact peak of ripeness and maturity, yielding the maximum nutritional value and tastiness. In contrast, commercial fruits and vegetables that must be harvested prior to peak maturity in order to allow for processing and distribution delays. This is a particularly important issue related to fruit, which is much healthier if eaten when it is naturally ripened. Also, for a variety of reasons related to the life force and cycles of the planet, fruits, vegetables and other natural foods are of the greatest nutritional value if they are grown in the same geographic vicinity as the area in which one lives. Having your own organic garden is obviously much more of a challenge for city dwellers than for people who live in suburban or rural areas.
You know
Food
it.
and nutrition. We'll explore the differences between natural, organic, processed and ultra-processed foods. Understanding these categories can help you make healthier choices for yourself and your family. Let's start with natural foods. Natural foods are minimally processed and free from artificial ingredients. They include fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. These foods are packed with essential nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that our bodies need to thrive. Consuming natural foods can improve your overall health, boost your immune system, and provide sustained energy. Next, we have organic foods. Organic products are grown without synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, or genetically modified organisms. They follow strict agricultural practices that promote biodiversity and soil health. Organic foods can include fruits, vegetables, grains, and even dairy and meat products. Many people choose organic for health reasons, believing they're more nutritious and safer for consumption. Now, let's talk about processed foods. Processed foods have been altered from their original form for safety, convenience, or preservation. This category includes items like canned vegetables, frozen fruits, and packaged snacks. While some processed foods can be healthy, such as frozen fruits without added sugars, others may contain added salt, sugar, or preservatives, which can detract from their nutritional value. Lastly, we have ultra-processed foods. These are products made from industrial ingredients that you wouldn't typically use in home cooking. Examples include sugary drinks, packaged snacks, instant noodles, and fast food.
Man, just say
Ultra-processed
candy.
foods often contain high levels of sugar, unhealthy fats, and salt, and they are linked to various health issues, including obesity and heart disease. It's best to limit these foods in your diet. So, how can you make healthier food choices? Focus on incorporating more natural and organic foods into your meals. When shopping, read labels carefully to identify processed foods with added ingredients. Aim to cook at home more often, using whole and minimally processed ingredients. Remember, balance is key. While it's okay to enjoy processed and ultra-processed foods occasionally, prioritizing natural and organic options can lead to better health outcomes. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more nutrition tips,
Ta-da.
and share your favorite healthy foods in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
Well, there you have it. Processed foods versus unprocessed foods. I don't know about you all, but when I get off of work, if it's in the freezer and it's a quick fix, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm eating those chimichangas from El Monterey, and I'm drinking them sodas because of that caffeine that keeps me up all day. And to eat healthy, I mean, I have been wanting to eat almonds, but almonds, they're hard on your gut. So I have eaten nuts and, fruit. Man, fruit can go so fast. And then you get with the fruit, you get the fruit flies, and they don't want to go away. They want to stick around. And where they're multiplying from, who knows? I do not. Maybe you can leave it in the comments. I have no clue. But having said that, everybody have a good night. And until we meet again.
So goodbye for us. You have to say it, baby. And us in Texas, you wanna try, baby. I you can. I know your heart, and you will figure out.